The Lives of the Saints by the Reverend Alban Butler, taken from the 4th edition, published in 1954. June 9th. St. Columba, Abbot. St. Columba, commonly pronounced Colm, was one of the greatest patriarchs of the monastic order in Ireland and the apostle of the Picts. To distinguish him from other saints of the same name, he was surnamed Columcille, from the great number of monastic cells, called by the Irish kills, of which he was the founder. He was of the most noble extraction from Neil, and was born at Gartan in the county of Tyrconnell in 521. He learned from his childhood that there is nothing great, nothing worthy of our esteem or pursuit, which does not advance the divine love in our souls, to which he totally devoted himself with an entire disengagement of his heart from the world, and in perfect purity of mind and body. He learned the divine scriptures and the lessons of an ascetic life under the holy bishop St. Finian in his great school of Cloyne-Oriad. Being advanced to the order of priesthood in 546, he began to give admirable lessons of piety and sacred learning, and in a short time formed many disciples. He founded, about the year 550, the great monastery of Darmagh, now called Dura, which original name signifies field of oaks, and besides many smaller, those of Dwyer or Derry in Ulster, and of Sword or Swords, about 6 miles from Dublin. St. Columba composed a rule which, as Usher, Tanner, and Sir James Ware inform us, is still extant in the Old Irish. This rule he settled in the 100 monasteries which he founded in Ireland and Scotland. It was chiefly borrowed from the ancient Oriental Monastic Institute, as the inquisitive Sir Roger Twisden observes of all the old British and Irish monastic orders. King Dermont or Dermitius being offended at the zeal of St. Columba in reproving public vices, the holy abbot left his native country and passed into North Britain, now called Scotland. He took along with him 12 disciples, and arrived there, according to Bede, in the year of Christ 565, the 9th of the reign of Bridius, the son of Melocon, the most powerful king of the Picts, which nation the saint converted from idolatry to the faith of Christ by his preaching, virtues, and miracles. But this we are to understand only of the northern Picts and the Highlanders, separated from the others by Mount Grampus, the highest part of which is called Drum Alban. For Bede tells us in the same place that the southern Picts had received the faith long before by the preaching of St. Ninias, the first bishop of Withern in Galloway. The Picts, having embraced the faith, gave St. Columba the little island of Hii, or Iona, called from him Comkil, 12 miles from the land, in which he built the great monastery, which was for several ages the chief seminary of North Britain, and continued long the burying place of the kings of Scotland, with the bodies of innumerable saints, which rested in that place. Out of this nursery St. Columba founded several other monasteries in Scotland. In the same school were educated the holy bishops Aidan, Finian, and Colman, who converted to the faith the English Northumbrians. This great monastery, several ages afterwards, embraced the rule of St. Bennet. St. Columba's manner of living was always most austere. He lay on the bare floor with a stone for his pillow, and never interrupted his fast. Yet his devotion was neither morose nor severe. His countenance always appeared wonderfully cheerful, and bespoke to all that beheld him the constant interior serenity of his holy soul, and the unspeakable joy with which it overflowed from the presence of the Holy Ghost. Such was his fervor that in whatever he did he seemed to exceed the strength of man, and as much in him lay he strove to suffer no moment of his precious time to pass without employing it for the honor of God, principally either in praying, reading, writing, or preaching. His incomparable mildness and charity towards all men, and on all occasions, won the hearts of all who conversed with him, and his virtues, miracles, and extraordinary gift of prophecy commanded the veneration of all ranks of men. He was of such authority that neither king nor people did anything without his consent. When King Aidan, or Aidanus, succeeded to his cousin Conall in the throne of British Scotland in 574, he received the royal insignia from St. Columba. 4 years before he died, St. Columba was favored with a vision of angels, which left him in many tears, because he learned from those heavenly messengers that God, moved by the prayers of the British and Scottish churches, would prolong his exile on earth yet 4 years. Having continued his labors in Scotland 34 years, he clearly and openly foretold his death, and on Saturday, the 9th of June, said to his disciple Diarmid, "This day is called the Sabbath, that is, the day of rest, and such will it truly be to me, for it will put an end to my labors." He was the first in the church at Matins at midnight, but knelt before the altar, received the viaticum, and having given his blessing to his spiritual children, sweetly slept in the Lord in the year 597, the 77th of his age. His body was buried in this island, but some ages after removed to Down in Ulster and laid in one vault with the remains of St. Patrick and St. Bridget. The great monastery of Durroch in the King's County afterwards embraced the rules of the Canons Regular, as did also the houses founded by St. Brendan, St. Comgall, and others. He was honored both in Ireland and Scotland among the principal patrons of those countries, and is commemorated in the Roman Martyrology on the 9th of June, but in some calendars on the 7th, which seems to have been the day of his death.